Hi, y'all. Javon Wilson here for 1221 Media, representing, of course, for our Caribbean Girls Run It series. Now, on this episode, we are speaking to a mogul in the world of holistic living. She has amassed almost 500,000 followers on Instagram, and she is the guru behind Baja Yogi and these life transforming retreats that have graced Greece, Kenya, Jamaica, now headed to St. Lucia. Listen, this Bahamas beauty is definitely doing her thing. So again, all the way from the beautiful Bahamas, our guest tonight is Miss Alex Kaufmann, who is bringing yoga, body positivity, and pure vibes to this episode of Caribbean Girls Run It. Stick with us.
Have you been suffering from neck pain or back pain, possibly from a bulging disc or from some mechanical issue? With 13 years of experience, we at the Rehab Center, we specialize in using physical therapy and manual therapy to help treat those issues. We use a wide range of tools: cupping, massage, acupuncture, therapeutic exercises, hot and cold therapy, even manual adjustment to help manage your pain. If you'd like to have a consultation with us, give us a call at 604-0587. And remember, we have your back.
Now, as promised, guests, we are back with a beauty from the Bahamas. Her name is Alex Kaufmann, and we are really excited to get into all the magic that she's bringing, not only to the Caribbean sphere, but all across the world. Now, Alex, thank you so much for making the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, of course. You know, when I conceptualized this show, it really was heavily based on highlighting some of these unconventional paths that Caribbean women are not only creating, but like you are doing, just really championing. And so it's really an honor to be able to speak with you, because I think that's such an important message for us to send to our younger girls who are trying to figure out, okay, what space am I going to take up in this world? And so thank you. When I say thank you, I mean that. I mean, like, you know, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to really push the message forward.
I appreciate it.
All right. All right. So by extension, you're a Caribbean girl. If we haven't said that before, we're going to say that again. Caribbean as Caribbean can get. But you really sell Caribbean. I think really what captivated me about you in your journey is how much you just heavy dose of Caribbean in everything that you do. And I think it's so beautiful to witness. So just tell us about your upbringings in the Bahamas. And also, like, why are you so passionate about always highlighting where it is that we come from?
Well, I mean, I think it's self-explanatory, of course, when you're from such a beautiful place. But yeah, no, I grew up in the Bahamas, born and raised in Nassau. My family is from one of the outer islands of the Bahamas. But it was a joy growing up here, obviously always being next to the beach, always having fresh fruit, fresh fish, fresh everything. It was just a joy. But I mean, I think for me, one of the biggest reasons why I like to push where I'm from and express where I'm from is because sometimes being a tourist destination, a lot of times the people that come here don't really get the real Bahamas. They don't get the real, authentic experience of what it feels like to be in the Bahamas. And that's outside of just coming to Nassau and going to Atlantis. That's also in the outer islands, experiencing local food, being around local people, and really understanding what it is to, be in this beautiful country. So I think that's one of the main drivers for me. And there's also a lot of miscommunication, misconceptions about the Caribbean in itself. So I feel like I just like to nip that in the bud. immediately and just let people know that, we are very advanced. We have all of these amazing things here, and it's a beautiful place to be outside from just the aesthetics.
You're right. A lot of people are so tuned into the commercial aspects of it that they don't get the time really to slow down and observe what it means to be here and to be in this part of the world. It's a beautiful thing that you're doing. I want to get into, what it is that you do. I wouldn't even say professionally, it just seems like it's so personal to you. You make it look so beautiful, and that is yoga. And, you and I both know that yoga has been around for quite some time, but it seems to be really catching on for the past few years. And people are really paying attention to it as we zone more as a collective into like holistic living. So if you can, for us, just tell us what got you into it, and what does it do for you personally?
I started yoga in about 2013 when I was pregnant. I was going through a real rough time dealing with, depression, anxiety, self-esteem issues, insecurity, pretty much the whole gamut. And my boss at the time introduced me to yoga, and I had done yoga before and I actually didn't like it because I thought it was like too boring and slow paced. But he was like, wait, you have to understand there's different types of yoga. You're right. You have different times in your yoga journey when you need a different style of yoga. So he totally like immersed me into the importance of breath work and meditation and reflection before even getting into the movement of yoga. And I think that was like the light at the end of the tunnel for me. It was like a guidance to being the person that I really wanted to be and building towards that. So I think if anything, that's how I started. And then what I got from it was beginning to find who I am instead of just always trying to put myself in the right boxes for society. Yoga was like a building block for me to really dig inward to then create the person that I am today. And then also to continue growing, because that person changes every day, right?
Oh yeah, we're always evolving, and it's such a personal process, coming back to that. So much of what we see and digest from media, from cultural conditioning, all of that is so tradition based. It's so based on what society wants as opposed to what we need to be. And a lot of people are so focused on doing as well as opposed to being. So I feel like with yoga, and my experience with it as well, is it almost allows you to enter yourself and really zone into who you are. And I love that. I really do love it. What do you say to somebody who says, like you, when you first began, that yoga is boring? What do you say to that person right now who might be considering trying it?
It's funny because now when I hear people say that, I get mad. I'm like, no, yoga's not like that. But then I have to like take a step back and realize, wait, I was once there as well.
That was me at some point.
I mean, I feel like with yoga, there's a lot of misconceptions. A lot of people think that, it's all about just being quiet. While that is to a degree some of the aspect of yoga, the yogic philosophy, a lot of people think that you have to be flexible to start yoga. That's not true at all. And a lot of people also say it's boring. And what I would say is that there's so many different styles of yoga. You have yoga styles that are more fast-paced, and especially in this day and age, you have like, they have different types like twerk yoga, goat yoga, all kinds of like random types of yoga that you can definitely try. So I would say find your style of yoga through trial and error, and also understand that some weeks you're going to want some different things. You may want more of a traditional based style of yoga where it's a set sequence. You may want something that's a little bit more creative and different every time you go, maybe connected to like a mantra or a message or like a theme of some sort. So there's so many different styles. So definitely I would say take your time, try different classes and also different teachers, because that's also a huge thing. Everyone teaches differently. So take your time, explore the world of yoga before you go saying it's boring, because I assure you there's a style of yoga for everyone.
Don't knock it till you try it, okay? Our viewers, after the break, we are speaking about some of Alex's retreats. I mean, she's been traveling the world, Greece, Kenya, Jamaica, heading to St. Lucia. Listen, you want to know all about that. And also, very importantly, the role that nutrition plays in our overall wellness. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Have you been suffering from neck pain or back pain, possibly from a bulging disc or from some mechanical issue? With 13 years of experience, we at the Rehab Center, we specialize in using physical therapy and manual therapy to help treat those issues. We use a wide range of tools: cupping, massage, acupuncture, therapeutic exercises, hot and cold therapy, even manual adjustments to help manage your pain. If you'd like to have a consultation with us, give us a call at 604-0587. And remember, we have your back.
Viewers, if you are now tuning in, this is another beautiful episode of Caribbean Girls Run It with our Bahamas representative. Yay! For the first time, Bahamas in the house. We are speaking to yoga specialist, Miss Alex Kaufmann out of the beautiful Bahamas. Now, right before the break, Alex, we touched on your retreats. And girl, you have been everywhere, honey, and going more, okay? And I really want to get into those retreats because you've been sprinkling all of that yoga magic all across the world. And again, we are now on that wave where people are really zoning into this industry, and I'm really happy to see it. So talk to us about our retreat. If perhaps one of our viewers was to come to one of your retreat, what are they expecting? Or what can they expect?
My retreats are amazing. I mean, I'm not being biased, but I feel like for me, especially, obviously, I love yoga, but I also love travel, and I also love cultural immersion. So those are like elements that are a part of every single one of my retreats. So outside of, practicing yoga with like-minded people from all over the world, you also get a full immersion into a local experience. I try my hardest to only use locally owned venues that, source us with locally owned food, locally grown food, fresh, straight from the source.
Like a real authentic experience.
Exactly. So and the thing is, for me, it's so important because coming from the Bahamas in the Caribbean, I feel like it's so easy, as I said before, for people to come here and just get Americanized or Westernized experiences where it's just not real. It's not the real deal. So when I do curate my retreats, it's all about getting that local experience. So you can actually say, look, I've experienced this country to a degree, and now I definitely want to come back, instead of having that, base level experience that has nothing to do with the place that we're in. So definitely what you can expect is yoga, some vibes, definitely some pure vibes, and cultural immersion, some local experiences, great food all the time. That's like number one on my list. I think that comes before the yoga. The food is number one.
What are we eating?
But yeah, all kinds of great things, right? But definitely a great time to have, lots of experiences and create memories. I'm still like friends with almost everyone that I've had on retreats. We still have our WhatsApp groups. We still share all of our memes and stuff like that. So it's creating connections for a lifetime, for sure.
Such a community. It's so powerful to be in the same space with people that want the same things. And I'm sure that's powerful. Talking about St. Lucia, though, I know you did mention that you might have a few spots available. Are those spaces filled as yet?
I have 4 spots available right now. So it's filling up pretty quickly, but it's definitely one of my favorite spots to go to. This retreat is going to include everything like breakfast, lunch, dinner, 60-minute massage, yoga classes, excursions, all kind of great things. And the venue itself is gorgeous. I mean, obviously it's St. Lucia, so everything is like ocean view. You can see a little bit of the mountains. It's top tier.
All right. And when is this happening? And how can possibly somebody who's interested get in contact with you for that?
This one's for June 22nd to the 27th of this year. And then you can always check my website, bahayogi.com, to sign up.
Awesome. You heard that. Go sign up. All right. So we touched on yoga. We touched on how much of a foodie we are when we were from the Caribbean. And we want to tap into that on a deeper level. Holistic wellness is not just physical wellness. Obviously, such a big part of who we become in our process has to do with what we feed ourselves, organic living, and Girl, whenever I see Baja roots, I'm like, oh God, she's speaking my language. Oh gosh, when can I move in? I'm like, ah, you're such a Caribbean girl. And it's a love. I mean, growing up, can you imagine that I really hated? I grew up with my aunt. I hated when she would like call us on the weekends to come dig up the beds to plant the trees. I mean, this was every single week. That was culture, right? And now I have such a deep appreciation for plants, for the energy, the connection, and now it's like, oh my God, I need as many plants as possible around me. But not only that, I need to be paying attention to what I eat. So talk to me about Baja roots. Tell me about them trees and them backyards that you have.
It was all thanks to the pandemic. I feel like that was, I feel like that was everyone's moment to kind of hone into their hobbies. It was something I've always wanted to do because I've seen it around me, from everyone in my family growing fruits and vegetables. And I was like, you know what? Let me try my hand. I'm stuck in the Bahamas. Let me at least, till the soil a little bit.
Yeah.
But I just became obsessed. I started growing a lot of fruit trees and then sharing those fruit trees. Ended up in a little farming community where we'd trade trees. And for me, my initial thought was this was a great way to make sure that, food is accessible. Because I feel like in the pandemic, especially over here, we realized how close we could have been to, just not having food at all, or the prices of food was going up. So I ended up getting chickens and ducks and goats just to make sure I had some kind of food safety. But also over here, fruits can be expensive, especially exotic fruits. So things like passion fruit, which is essentially a weed, going for like $32 a pound over here.
Ooh.
So exactly. So I was like, that's not happening. So I started growing tons of passion fruit. I was sharing them out with different people. So now everyone's like inundated with passion fruits.
Oh
But
goodness.
yeah, so that was my thought process. Also bringing back like old school fruits. Like my mom always used to talk about soursops and June plums and how she hasn't seen them in so long. So I was just like, it's such a normal thing to hear that nowadays. It's like, I want to bring these things back so they're more readily accessible. So now I have about 10 June plum trees, 4 soursop trees, all kinds of jackfruit I'm introducing right now. So it's something that keeps going, and it's something that I really, really enjoy, just to, have those things and watch them come to fruition.
And one of the things I enjoy witnessing as well is obviously Vera, she has a beautiful daughter. And you're introducing her to this life. And I could see that she's enjoying it. How important do you think it is for us to like just bring the kids into the process and ensure that they know that it's very important to eat healthy?
Extremely important. I have her in the garden with me. She takes care of the chickens and the ducks. And I think it's important for them to see that life, because nowadays children tend to be always on the iPad. And granted, she does love her iPad,
Yes.
but I have to
iPad.
I have to remind her, like, Finn, come outside, let's watch this. We just had like a whole batch of ducklings born last week and the week before. So now her being able to witness the growth of these animals and how they bond with their mother and things like that, I feel like that makes a huge difference into, their mental capacity, emotional capacity of really just understanding the world and how it works from, an animal standpoint. But it's super important to take the kids outside and get them to touch dirt and see. Like I remember her first fruit she grew, was a tomato plant, and her seeing that go from seed to then bearing tomatoes, she was just like, wow. Like I didn't even know. I'm just like, yeah. She's like, what else can we grow?
Yeah.
So it's a moment of wonder. And I feel like kids and adults especially can experience that through gardening and farming for sure.
Okay, so are you selling or are you just doing this? Is it for you personally?
Right now, I did sell some of my sprouts and things like that. Now I sell some eggs, but mostly I find myself in trade. So if I have a banana tree and then my friend has, like a canap tree, then we'll be like, okay, we'll trade. Or we'll be like, I have too many passion fruit trees. What do you have? I have some duck eggs. What do you have? I have a spare chicken. What do you have? So that's more so what I'm doing right now. Further on down the line, if I can streamline it and, organize myself between yoga and the farm world, I definitely want to go more bigger scale of just being able to provide exotic fruits for affordable prices. I just acquired some land, so that's definitely in the long term for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if you need two hands, I'm just saying.
Yes, let
I
me
just
know.
need one room if you need two. Okay. But it's just really great. I'm also in that phase of my life as well, too, where I'm just very conscious of everything I'm putting into my body, into my mind. And I know a lot of persons, a lot of women in particular, are paying attention to what's happening. And it's just a joy to witness, because so much of what happens to us at a certain age, in the Caribbean, we call it old age, is informed by what we do at this age. And so just really shifting the paradigm, I really do applaud the work that you're doing. And I really love that your daughter is a part of it. That's
Of course.
amazing. All right, so viewers, we're going to go to another very quick commercial break. But when we come back, we're touching on something that is very important to me, a message. So many of us are, I don't know, we just contribute so consistently to the issue of body shaming. And in the Caribbean, we don't have to be doing that. So when we come back, we're tapping into that a little bit more as we begin to wrap up. All right, stick with us.
Beautiful, warm, exquisite. Your retreat awaits. Welcome to the British Virgin Islands, one of the world's most exclusive vacation destinations. This is paradise, and you deserve paradise. Add some luxury to your vacation. After all, you are a VIP. Experience all our amenities, including personal transportation to and from all reserved activities. I know you are craving that perfect getaway to unwind, unplug, and reset. And the weekend off just doesn't do it. Relax, we've got you covered. Look no further than here.
Hi, I'm Gia of Golden Journey Concierge Services, and we are anxious to serve you. From the moment you arrive, the vacation designed just for you begins to unfold, and your adventure awaits. You're in good hands, my hands.
Perhaps our greatest treasure is the Virgin Islands' pristine beauty. Come on, let's get down to earth, literally, and explore nature's little secret.
Are you a thrill seeker? Well, how about a mountain high view of our capital while seated in the sky?
After a thrilling adventure, take a load off. Sink your feet into soft white sand and enjoy a bath in the cool, crystal clear seawater.
I know one thing's for sure. You cannot visit the Virgin Islands without exploring all 60 islands and keys.
Tell us your interests, and we will curate your ultimate BVI vacation experience, a Golden Journey experience. Golden Journey Concierge Services, designing luxurious vacations for the VIP in you.
Our viewers, we are back with beautiful Alex Kaufmann out of the Bahamas, representing for Caribbean girls who are running it, because that's definitely what she's doing. We are so excited to have her. Before the break, we touched on body shaming, I mentioned earlier, Alex, that your content really sells Caribbean, it sells yoga. But it's just so intoxicating. It makes you want to look and binge, because one of the things that you're also tapping into is your femininity and the power of that. And that also means tapping into your aesthetics, your body, really embracing that. And so, in this era of body shaming, how important is it for you to be yourself, and in that way, and to be able to encourage other Caribbean women, and especially young girls who feel like they have to look like a particular structure to feel and be beautiful? What do you want to say to those girls as well?
I feel like, whoo, that's loaded. I mean, even myself coming from a space of, hating my body and just feeling lots of insecurity and self-esteem issues, I feel like it's so important to really dig deep and to learn to love yourself no matter what stage your body is in, no matter where you're trying to take it, where it's been. It's loving yourself at every single stage. Body shaming is something that's going to exist regardless of the fact. And it's just something that we have to realize. And you just have to be able to, dull out the noise, not focus on, what's going on around us, especially being on Instagram. I get stuff all the time, whether it, oh, you gaining weight, you losing weight, or if it's just, being hypersexualized. I feel like that's another thing that Caribbean women deal with. We are sexualized
Every way.
no matter what we wearing, what we doing, we tend to have the hips and the waist and, all of the curves and all of the goodness and stuff like that. But I mean, it's one of those things that really can get to you, and you can't let it get to you. You have to just hold firm, know that, you are you, and that's all that matters. There's no need to change. There's no need to do anything that you personally don't want to do to fit in any of the trends or whatever is new and upcoming in the celebrity world. I think that it's important to hone in and own yourself and own your femininity, and don't care about what anyone have to say, because regardless, people always gonna have something to say. Always, always, always. And I always say it's funny because people always have something to say, but they need to use that same energy to work on themselves.
Right? Can we mind the business that minds us, please?
Yeah, exactly. Like the projection is not needed. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember one time I posted like a picture. I'm a beach girl too. I'm a water girl. And I posted a picture of myself in like swimwear because I enjoy that's my place too, And I remember one time like an extended family member called and they were like, "Hi, can you be a bit more mindful of, how you post those bathing suit pictures because some of your uncles are on social media." And I'm like, "What?"
Oh God. Okay.
Oh no, like I can respect your opinion with that, but I find sometimes we are easily or we find ourselves babysitting other people's insecurities. And I feel like our only purpose here on this earth is to be ourselves. Like to just
I feel like in the Caribbean too is very common where we want to kind of tone down women. It's always, oh, be careful what you're doing, but no one ever focuses on the men. Like maybe we should address that, right? It's always like, oh, watch out what you're wearing or this, that, and the third, when it's really and truly that this is a bigger issue at hand here.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm wearing, because that never is the case. It doesn't matter what you're wearing. It's always a safety issue, right? And that doesn't depend on what you're wearing, what you're saying, what you're doing, because at the end of the day, you should be okay to just exist.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a mixture between that and then also just projection of insecurities, which, is totally understandable, because in this day and age, we have a lot of things going through our heads. A lot of people may not like how they look, or they may feel a little, suppressed in how they want to express themselves. But I feel like, I always tell myself, because I have moments of projection as well. Everyone does. It's so important to catch yourself when you find yourself judging someone and ask yourself why. Why am I feeling this way? Why do I feel the need to express this? Why am I saying these things? Why am I thinking those things? And then once you answer that question, then you can find your solution as to what you need to put your energy and your time on fixing that.
And gosh, if we were to spend more time doing that, there literally wouldn't be enough time to focus on anything else, anybody else really. So I just feel like as a people, as a community, as a collective, we just have to do our work. Let's do our work on ourselves. Yes. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you just came back from the carnivals of all carnivals, girl.
Yes, I did.
Trinidad Carnival, and that ties into what we're talking about too. Like Carnival is woman. Carnival is woman, and we saw thousands of women out there. What was that experience like, just being able to revel with the community and just celebrate life, celebrate also, very importantly, the bounce back, because everybody was excited.
It was amazing. I mean, it always is. I always love that of like the experience of just being around Caribbean people, vibing, dancing, and just enjoying life and just celebrating life in itself. Trinidad is very near and dear to my heart. So I ended up staying a whole week and a half afterward just to eat, just to eat and
I was
explore.
trying to get Alex to talk to me forever. She's like, nope, sorry, I'm in Trinidad. We're in Trinidad.
Yeah, I think I let you know beforehand. I was like, look, I'm gonna be on a hiatus. I am not doing any work because I've been waiting for this since 2020. So it's been a minute, but no, it was amazing, perfect. Words can't describe. Just always a fantastic experience for sure.
All right, and a perfect place to go. There are lots of videos on Instagram if you want to know what it means to like just embrace your whole entire body and not care about what the world has to think. Okay. Yeah, so Alex, man, this conversation has been really enlightening. And again, I really do appreciate your time. Before I go, I really have to ask you because you really embody what it is to be a true, authentic Caribbean woman. What does that feel like? What does it feel like to be in your purpose, to be a Caribbean woman living out her dreams?
That's loaded. But I must say though, every so often I really take a step back and I'm be like, I'm so grateful to be like from the Caribbean. Like I'm just happy. Like I just feel like this is just it's the perfect, me that I could definitely be. But I feel like being from the Caribbean is something that's just so multifaceted. I am so grateful to be from a beautiful place that people love to vacation, that I get to live in. That this is my backdrop. This is my life, right? I get to explore, especially the Bahamas. We have so many islands. So I'm still to the point where I have so much to explore on my islands. And just, our culture, our vibrancy is just so colorful. And, we may have some work to do, but I definitely want to be a part of that change and a part of that growth of, making Caribbean culture more known and more aware, and just also inputting my little bit of mental health tidbits in there, my little bit of yoga, my little fitness journey. But definitely I'm grateful to be from the Caribbean, born, bred, godad, Bahamian.
All
And
right.
it's just vibe.
Bahamas, y'all, just she's an ambassador, okay? Just give her the keys to the city.
Give me the key. Give me the key. I am waiting.
All right. And as we wrap up, what do you think you are here on this earth to do?
Ooh, I think I am here to inspire. Even if it's, anyone, but I think for anyone, it's my daughter. I'm here to just be that like marker for her, to just know that you can achieve whatever you want. And that's just something that I work towards every single day. So if she is the only one, that's great. But if more people come after that, that's even better, definitely. But I want to inspire, especially women, to, be themselves, to, take the reins and just do whatever you want, trial and error, no matter what you get from it, always just learn from it and just be there and take up space. That's one of the biggest things.
Take up space, and you're taking up space in a big way. Again, we applaud everything that you're doing, Miss Caribbean woman, representing for the Bahamas. We really appreciate you taking the time out to speak with our Caribbean audience. And of course, you spoke about inspiration. It goes way beyond your daughter. I'm inspired to even have you on my platform. And I know I speak for a whole host of people, women and men alike, who can, affirm you in that same very positive way. So thank you for the work that you're doing. And of course, we look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, please plug how my viewers can follow you as well.
Oh, definitely. You can follow me on Instagram at Baha Yogi, and it's the same on Twitter, TikTok, and then also on YouTube now at Baha Yogi TV. And you can also check out my retreats on my website, bahayogi.com.
You heard that. Follow her all the way to St. Lucia in June too, okay?
Yes, all the way.
That retreat is going to be awesome. Again, thank you so much and all the best.
Thank you.
All right, viewers, that was Ms. Baha Yogi. She is just blowing up on Instagram, representing the Bahamas well, and of course, by extension, the Caribbean. We are so grateful to have had the opportunity to speak with her. Now, next week, we are speaking to a mogul from Barbados. Follow my ding, ding, ding. You're going to have to tune in to see. So be sure to tune in next week. But until next time, my name is Javon Wilson, signing out for 1221 Media. Bye-bye. Makeup sponsored exclusively by Glam by Anicia.